Hello everyone, and welcome back to a bit more WARNO action. As this time around, we look at the 52nd Airborne in another game against Tortic. Tortic coming around with the Bleeding Day here, which got a couple of price changes, so not too impactful. The infantry got a bit more expensive, their IFVs got a bit cheaper though, so that you take the infantry in the IFVs. But we have the more important part here with our 56 here, coming around with the Mad Max division, with some wild looking units here. Recon with the ZSU, with the excellent optics. A couple of fire support units here, including the Rice here that brings in the Rice infantry together with the BTR with the Rice launcher on top. And on the other side, Dragons here, Afghansky coming around in a Dejant here, trying to take the territory early on. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have a good couple of helicopters as well, trying to be annoying, but luckily I brought an escorty helicopter. I wanted to try them out now that they're a bit cheaper again, and that their rockets have been fixed a bit, to see what they can do. And as you can see, the big rocket actually do some decent damage now, and the AA rocket also got a good hit onto the Gazelle. The second one gets another Gazelle killed. Big rockets are out, but the small rockets still able to do some damage here against the VLA, though we have some AMX-10s and some AA coming up as well. SPG-9s coming in the SPG-9 vehicle here in the middle. No real tanks on either side, but obviously AMX-10s here, the standard little vehicle with the big gun coming in on the side of the 5th Blindé here. AA pieces pushing back the helicopter. The escort is down. B-24 transport disengaging. Medis though in a good spot, trying to get some hits, but stressed out too much, and with the AoE fix it doesn't get the hit there. Conquers, same thing here. BMD2 together with the amazing Spetsnaz GRU with Stinger and AT and the RPG-27 as the AT option. Meanwhile, up north here now, we have the Metla pushing forward with the cheap infantry inside. The Ural with the big box. Dueling here against the unarmored VB, or nearly unarmored VBL here. Just a bit of fire there between these two. T62 MD1 here, getting involved with the boxes around. Getting the shot off. Finding the kill. A Gazelle Cannon here actually landed, wanting to dodge AA. Another one here flying super low on the side. Well, it's the fight over here. My unit's getting pushed back, but we stopped them from just running through. Helicopters killed, AMXs pushed back, dealt decent damage there. Well, it's the push in the north does continue. Gazelle here, still moving around. The one on the ground gets shot down, gets killed. MX-10 RC trying to come around here as well, though. Infantry continues to push in. Some CVs here to contest the middle coming up. Whilst we have the BMD2D here coming in with the extra side armor. Moving around. Me-24V rocket coming in as well. PRM-2000 getting a nice kill. MX-10 RC getting a good shot off against my units here in these two buildings. Forcing myself back. Obviously the security forces here, they ain't the best. They are low veterancy. They don't have any AT, but they come in a good rate transport, and the security also gives them better optics, so that allows them to be somewhat decent. Me-24 being brought around here, as I saw the AA in the south, didn't see any AA earlier. The TRM-2000 I didn't spot, so idea was to deal with the MX-10 RC with that. VABs here bringing in the Grenadier Voltigeurs. That combo now is a bit more expensive, as the Grenadier Voltigeurs went up to 55, and the VAB stayed the same. It's with the MX-10P, where the combo stays the same price, so that you bring those mediocre IFVs a bit more around with the French divisions, which are a bit slower, but obviously have an autocannon on top. Conquers sitting here, trying to stop the MX-10 push. They start to push through here. T62 coming around on the side. Conquers, gets one kill, gets blown up afterwards, but that's still a fine rate. Getting rid of one of these annoying recon tanks here, whilst in the north. The TRM nearly killed the Me-24, but we got the AMX-10 as well. Infantry pushing forward. Gets taken out though. Mephisto there as a long-range AT. That's the Urals here with the big MG on top. Rockets all empty. Moves around. Me-24V engaging the ground air GSC in the south. T-62 being pushed back. And the MXs get a good shot off there. Me-24 trying to find the kill. We have Mistrals coming around though. But the Hind still finds one of the AMX-10s here with a Cocon missile. Now does retreat, BMP-2s and some infantry here with the RPG-16. Unique kind of a piece of equipment, 1025 range, but only 13 penetration and low accuracy on long range as well. And only having AT, no AP there, so they're not like a recoilless rifle. Hind here being pushed back further. MX-10 still holding the ground. The infantry trying to get into a position here. BTRs coming around with the S8 rocket pods here. Whilst up north, position is still decently under control. T-62 finds some infantry in transport. VAB around here. We now see some chasseurs with the MX-10Ps. Whilst Mistral tries to kill off the Hind over here. The BMP-2s trying to finish it off. Mistral gets the kill and can retreat afterwards. Quite unfortunate there that it got stressed out and still get the second hit. The second hit there. VAB defending itself here with the MX-10s. RPGs trying to get in range, but gets stopped by a Trajan Para here, just shy of the AT range. Meanwhile, the Urals here not finding the VAB. That would have been a great kill. Finding the MX-10s instead though, and they can win the fight there with their 20mm on top. Meanwhile, RPG, BTR still sitting around here. BP2 and T-62 instead moving forward. Trying to deal with the strong recon infantry. Trying to deal with the MX-10s afterwards. BP2 pushing forward. Rajvedka pushing towards the Milan 2 down here as well. We have a Rajvedka BTR-60 here on the side. We try to get some kills there. VAB being pushed back. Gets hit by the 30mm autocannon, but doesn't get finished off. Shaika in the north. I tried to find a way to get that in there. The BM-21 Krat here getting some shots in against the infantry. Two of them together really dealing decent amount of damage. Not quite able to finish off the enemy CV there though. They only have 12 rockets each, but they reload quickly. They are cheap to reload, so that's really their big advantages. But the BMP2, the MX-10P still survived, and so did the infantry there. But more reloads, and we might be able to kill it off. Not killing the CV though is the painful thing there, as it's an unarmored little VAB here. Or no, actually not unarmored, it's a VAB. If it would have been a P4, it would have died there. But yeah, VAB did survive. The infantry are getting pushed back as well. More recon, more helicopters here with the Me-24 coming around. AA here still pretty low. We killed a couple quite nicely, so the helicopters still can fly. Shaika is waiting for these infantry units here to come around to push in. Meanwhile, I could have been more aggressive over here. Maybe pushed for the forest here in the south. That would have been a good idea. Instead, I stuck a bit too far in the back here with the BTRs and the BMP2s. But yeah, I was busy microing in the north, learning all the units, trying to figure out what the best unit for each situation is. Though I really enjoyed playing this division. Like, this division is a fun one. The whole Mad Max vibe here with all of these guys is pretty cool. The T-62s give you at least a decent amount of armor, and the helicopters that you get are a solid mix as well. Not super fancy there, but solid. The air tap is a bit better than what you have in 101st when it comes to attack strike with, but actually nothing super fancy either. Like, it's really is the helicopter-borne division and not a airborne division in that regard. And the lack of fort deploy really shows as well in these. Like, The early game is a lot different to what you do with the real airborne divisions like 82nd or the 35th Air Assault, which have all the forward deploy, but they don't get tanks. They have other weaknesses there instead. And the helicopter tabs in both of these divisions here is still quite decent, though 35th has the better one. Meanwhile here, VAB's coming around, RPG 16, trying to find a kill, does miss, but gets support from over here. B-62's helping out, SPG-9 helping out. Me-24 trying to help out against the infantry over here as well, though VAB with Mistrals inside, pushing around. Ural with Medla, getting in with the rockets there. Getting some damage in there with the S5 rockets, pushing back the Grenadiers quite nicely. And that really is an important part of this deck, though in this matchup, the MX-30s are actually quite decent in countering that, as they are relatively affordable tanks, and with the autocannon and their main gun, they can rip apart your BTRs quite quickly. And even the MX-10P is a decent counter there, as it can win the duels, the one-on-one duels, and it's actually cheaper than these units even, as these cost 40 and an MX-10P. Do we still have one yet? Yeah, it costs 35 nowadays. So they are actually pretty cost efficient at dealing with it. The Spetsnaz GRU here, strong unit, getting killed off. Good push here by Tortik, coming over, putting pressure onto this point. I have some helicopters in position though, and the AA here still lackluster. We have a VAB running up there to try to help out with the 20mm on top and a Mistral inside. Capture here with the Chaika in the north, getting a +4 going on now, whilst the Grud here tried to set up for the next shot against the MX-10 over here. Helicopter is doing a great job here, pushing back the chasseurs, which are really scarily close to the Chaika there, but the gun strong enough to push them back here, and both chasseurs gonna get killed off. VAB at the same time though coming around as well. We have the MiG-27K, which has really interesting long-range HGMs with the KH-29L, but they both missed. The accuracy of them not amazing, the range is though. Meanwhile, V-24P coming in around here. The VAB pushing back the Heinz, killing off one. The other is getting away though, which is pretty important. Mistral finishes the job though. Yeah, we got the kill onto the unit over here, but then they got the better of it. SPG-9 helping out here against Grenadier Voltigeurs. Push over here, working out decently. The P4 Milan out of missiles though, and the Chaika in the middle does fall now, which puts the tick down to a +4. We've got the points out over here. +6 would have been really cool. 6-minute timer onto the enemy, but it goes down to a +4 here now. And yeah, good counter push here with the MX-30s. MX-10 RC goes down in the south as well. That's a good pick off too. And I really should have pushed further down here. That was a big mistake by me at this point. Could have secured the whole situation here a lot easier if I would have used the units. They're coming in now. We have a Mephisto by now over here. Milan 2 in a decent spot as well. Meanwhile, Tortik setting up to reconquer the north, trying to equalize the score again. ATGMs flying around, BMP-2D. Taking the 1v1 fight against the Mephisto, not something you should do, as the Mephisto fires first, and it also has the better ATGM, so it does win the duel there. Dragon Para under fire here. Me-24P coming around, trying to get some kill here in the center, as the AA here once more, not amazing. P62 MD in the north dies at the same time though, as we have the MX-30s here now in scary spots. Ural Metla and BMP-2D trying to defend themselves. VAB here actually in a pretty vulnerable spot, getting killed off. So the north gets potentially captured again, but the Chaika actually goes down before the zone can be fully captured again. So down to a +2 it is. MiG-27K here trying to find some kills as well. Milan 2 goes down. Mephisto gets killed off there by the MiG-27. Bit of AA around as well. BL recons here with 50 cults, trying to find some information, trying to find some kills here onto the units on the support road, and at the same time the north completely collapses here. Pulmachikis at least finding the kill here onto the AMX-10, but BMP-2 goes down, Urals go down, so a lot of losses there in a short row. Putting the north now under pressure as there is more forces here for Tortic. AMX-10 RC doing a good job. MX-30 B2 Prentice getting some kills here as well. Well, it's the VRLA. Tries to defend itself here. BTRs though with the rockets. Actually doing a decent job there in that forest, but shouldn't take the fight directly against the MX-10s. MiG-27 trying to come around again. There are no Rolands on the battlefield yet. And it tries to find some kills. Loses line of sight there last second though. And doesn't... only fires one missile and that one doesn't land. Roland 3s here now coming in, so the MiG-27 case will have it a lot harder in the future. Meanwhile, Grenadier Voltage Apilas finding the kill onto the T-62s as they try to get into the middle. Second one getting hit pretty hard. Mi-24P not in range to deal with it. That could have been really helpful there to immediately get some firepower on top of that. SPG-9s here trying to help out as well. More T-62. Lack of infantry though to push into this. And that's pretty painful at this stage. Getting back in here at this moment when it's not really entrenched would be helpful to really get back into the center. Otherwise the whole situation is a bit scary. As if the enemy can fortify here. Getting back in up there is pretty tough. The Gruts can help though. We still have some helicopters that can help as well. Mistral coming around again though. Mi-24 PAA needs to get the hell out of there. Flying backwards. Getting out of range. Last couple of remaining infantry units in the north holding out. T-62 MDs pushing into the building area here. Trying to help out too. Pulmachiki and Rajavetka here. Pulling out after the BTRs got overrun. One T-62 in a decent spot as well to help out. SPG-9 here. Really giving decent fire support. Conquerors coming around to hold the flank here a bit as well. T-62MD maybe even could have pushed forward there to try to deal with the chasseurs, as we see some mortar half-tracks coming around as well. AMX-10 over here taking some shots onto the infantry. Pulmachiki sitting a bit too far out in the open. T-62MDs trying to push forward, trying to find some kills against some MX-30s. But this situation here is a bit painful right now. Draw is... the situation is a draw in the points. T-62MD trying to find some hits. Chasseur is getting killed. Pulmachiki getting killed. BAB going down. T-62MD1 over here going down as well. Conquers trying to get a hit there. So Perry Rice pushing forward. Heinz over here resupplying, reloading. Apilas trying to take some shots. MX-10s and MX-30 here taking out the T-62s as they are left without recon. All the infantry in front of them are dead, so they can't spot what's shooting them, and that was a big mistake there, losing two T-62s way too easily. So it comes a bit down now to the south here, and the helicopters reloading around the Mammoth chopper. A really, really wide Mammoth chopper. Kinda not sure if they just got brought here from the Finnish border or Siberia, but they for sure took the wrong paint job for the task here. Really not working with camouflage there at all. 62MD1 sitting around. BM21 Gruts and trying to get ready. AMX-01 counter batterying hits the Ural as I clicked around the BM21s, but actually not the Ural, but it was empty anyways, just losing there a couple of points that I could have regained otherwise. MiG-27K has to be careful, Roland 3s are around. MiG-23 gets pushed back as the infantry tries to push up here again. BM-21 Grad trying to get on top of this here again. Ural going down. We have the Heinz and Self here sitting around decently here. Rice going down. Afghansky under fire. MX-30B2 sitting around. Brenner's under fire, not going down. Roland trying to take another shot, gets a kill. Graz could come around nicely as well, but yeah, losing the MiG-27. Pretty terrible there without another kill. The accuracy of them really not the best. The range is nice, but the Roland 3s have decent ranges as well. And they can find the kill there. Helicopters here now trying to push forward, but there's 2 Mistrals. One of them is out of ammo at this point actually, but the VAB is around as well. And the Grad not hitting the spot there. No units around there, that's a mistake. Wasting strong units there. MiG-27 here. Trying to go a bit left of the Rolands, but still the Rolands are pushed quite far forward. So they still have a decent chance of getting the kill there. Mistral trying to get involved as well. Roland does get involved, does miss at this point. So we get the kill there. And whilst the helicopters try to find some action down here now. As, yeah, we figured out the Mistrals. The North showed decent amount of support as well. Graz did rotate around again, get reloaded here by the Mi-24. We saw the VBL now, so helicopter squad there going for the hunt. And there are anti-helicopter units everywhere here as well. The TRM 2000 really a strong unit to counter the play with 56 quite nicely as well. One of the most cost-efficient anti-helicopter units that is also agile enough to follow them around. Meanwhile, VAB PC here now coming in, trying to get into the point to get the tick again here for Tortik. ATGM's trying to fly around. Milan 2 now in the center building, coming around. 1 MX-30 there, getting killed off. But the BMP-2 now under fire. And not enough recon here around at this point. You have the Modrezhvetka down here, but they're not in the right spot. So the Milan 2 actually doesn't even get spotted. Otherwise the helicopters would have lit it up completely there. And now the helicopter is sitting a bit around too much there. VAB PC under fire by the Graz. With its 8 hit point, it's going pretty low, but it actually survives. MX-30 B2 Brennis and the VAB T20 though going down to the Heinz. Heinz trying to get the hell out of there. Mistral still finding one shot though. And the helicopters need to fly further. Trying to dodge to the side. Modrezhvetka coming around. BTR 70D here getting involved against the Mistral. Mi-24P gets shot down in the south now. As TRM 2000 comes around as well, but decent kill here onto the forward pushing units. Same time artillery trying to come around for the BM Kratz again, but they rotated around as well. Medi's infantry coming up here. Still need to get back onto this hill. T62 MDK coming around for that as well. Setting up a bit of a push there with some RPG 16s as well. Mistral pushing a bit too far forward, getting eliminated. BTR now under fire by the AMX-10 though. As the relatively small infantry squads down here pushing forward with the Dushka. Conquerors get eliminated by the great artillery here. The AV-1. Jago HE now coming in for some kills as well, and there is no AA here whatsoever yet, as there was no airplay from the side of Tortik until now, so no real threat. Some MiG-23s, AAs were bought earlier, but I think they were lost by now as well. Strela coming around, Grad actually trying to go for the counter battery there, but yeah, good movement there by Tortik, and the VAB once more will barely survive. That's really its strength, that it has a bit of survivability and just enough in this kind of combination to actually survive. Meanwhile, Saperi Rice pushing forward. We have Conqueror sitting around as well, Mistral getting involved, 62 MD trying to push forward as well. And MX-30B2 rolling back, MDK coming up, try to deal with the Mistral. But the +2 does continue. Mistral at least goes down. We still have a couple of helicopters here, so killing off the Mistrals like that in the center, pretty important. The Mistrals there are killed again, but there are Roland 3 is now behind that, so it's still not safe country for them. The Gruts empty once more. Some Nonnas being brought up to try to kill off the infantry and some entrenched positions over here. Milan 2 in a really good spot, commanding position there. The Conquerors and the BTR-70 here in the south are nice, but the lack of recon here hits pretty hard. Not having any GSR units in that dig is for sure a problem. Whilst push in the south happening again a bit. Conquerors trying to find the MX-30s. Not able to do so though, but here M2000 and the Mistral hitting the helicopters here, getting a stun. Helicopters trying to disengage. Mistral gets another shot off though and kills them. And the really important Mi-24P there. That's the one with the cocons. Not having that anymore is pretty painful. Whilst the Conquerors tries to come around here from the side. MX-30B2 not getting killed. Now I'm also bringing around these kind of boys. I wanted to test them. Not sure how good they actually are. I don't think they're great. They're pretty cheap, but they're actually more expensive than a couple of other units, which, like, they're the same price as the BT-20, for example. And yeah, the ZPUs are really low range, which is kind of a problem as an AA piece, or an anti-helicopter piece here. Ural with the rockets, trying to finish off the Grenadier Voltigeurs. Not doing amazingly there. BTR in the south, trying to finish off the chasseurs, but the MX-10s here involved as well. MX-30s getting the kill there. So the units here are in trouble. +2 situation still going on. Milan 2 getting involved, and yeah, the trades lately not great at all. Like the early game I think went somewhat decently, but the 5th plane day here hitting quite hard now, and dealing with the MX-30s has become a real problem. And they are really, as I pointed out earlier, I think they're a pretty good one against this division, because they are cheap enough that you can't just overwhelm them with spam or just run around them, as you can afford the MX-30s everywhere. And the autocannon shreds the infantry, shreds the BTRs, and the main gun is just good enough to win the fight here against the T-62s, thanks to better rate of fire, thanks to better accuracy. But especially the rate of fire there is important, that you can beat the T-62s relatively reliably as well. And that's an issue there as well for the tank tab. Whilst the price for both of them is quite comparable. A long range, obviously, the extra frontal armor and the ATGM here can help out. But when the MX-30s get closer, they can trade quite nicely there. MX-30B2s here getting involved against the recon unit now. Now it's only recon left, this thing that I liked earlier, and yeah, the AA here now pushing forward. I think actually a pretty solid matchup for 5th. For sure not unbeatable. Totic played it quite nice, and yeah, I'm still having to learn 56. I think the division has more room actually in the meta than one at first, but you have to figure out how to use all the tools and which tools bring when, which tools are actually cost efficient and which ones are just a bit gimmicky. So that's something that will go on over the next couple of weeks, but I feel like this division actually has a space somewhere. Like the air tab is decent, you have nice helicopters, you have solid infantry, you have tanks that actually are numerous enough to do something, and the T-62's really not the worst ones. They have a decent ATGM. Yeah, like a bit more anti-tank wouldn't be terrible. But at least with the RPG-16 you have something that can hit vehicles long range as well. You have BMP-2Ds, which is a nice thing as well. Having any kind of IFV is always nice, and the BMP-2D is really not the worst at that. With its extra side armor and just being a BMP-2 in general. Obviously they got nerfed to 60 points lately, so They're not as amazing as cost efficiency wise as they had been before, but they're still quite reliable, and they give you now the cannon. Meanwhile here, BM81 sitting around, setting up to deal with the last remaining unit, which is the CV here. MX-30s don't want to run in there on their own. MX-10 RC gets killed off here. Nonas trying to get involved as well against the MX-30B2 in the middle. Trying to allow the infantry to push up, but the Apilas is a problem. Gets the kill here. ZPU actually taking the fight there, getting killed off. And there's nothing else here to follow really home after that. Escorty under fire. Artillery also now hitting the Grad, as I didn't play the best there. This Mi-6 could have been sold. And the mortars coming around here. The push onto this hill here really should have been done better. The first part of it already. Like, if I would have gained that back, that would have been a lot easier to play this game. And I also just really invested too much into it. Sunken cost fallacy hitting hard there afterwards. Losing too many units and terrible engagements. And at this point it was pretty over as well. SPG-9 getting some kills. T62MD going down as well. Yeah, beautiful units here in general. I like the Gruts, I like the Mi-6. On the SPG-9s are kind of fun as well. AA obviously really lackluster. You only get Strela 10Ms, but at least you get Strela 10s. It's not just Strela 1s. And yeah, they are decent at their job. It's just you want something above them as well. Some Cubes, some Tunguskas, something like that. Strela 10M3s with the better missiles. But still a decent one if you can combine that with your fighters. Your fighters only make 23s, but at least they're a bit more cost efficient now in the whole fighter dynamic with the changes in this patch as well, with the overperforming fighters going up in price and so on, and the MiG-27s not really being changed. So they are more cost efficient in comparison, but their missile got more reliable as well, just like all the other air-to-air missiles for all the other planes as well. So they are more efficient in being interceptors for bombers and so on, especially. But yeah, at this point, Tortic here, having the +2 lead, and last CV here being pushed out now as well. I put a couple of Strelas here for a final push. Try to see what we could maybe get out of those rockets. BMP2s coming around as well. And see if they actually can do something. And though a single rocket pod is nice, and it's pretty good against infantry, but especially the S5 one is, you need decent enough numbers to actually get bigger value out of them. It's a nice meme unit. I think it is worth its 40 points in combination, especially here. I mean, as a fast vehicle and so on. The bigger issue is the Oak Van side. But yeah, GGVP was called out at that moment, and yeah, we had an interesting game here. As I said, KD completely dropped off, I think, after minute 10 or so. At the beginning, the fights were a lot more interesting. As you can see, the T62MD, for example, in the north, did really well. Did really do a good job there. And a couple of other units did a decent one as well. And then Tortic here coming in with some really strong plays as well. They played for sure quite good in this one as well. And yep, that's 56. Let me know down below what you think about this division so far. I for sure gonna play it quite a bit in the upcoming weeks. I think this one is a fun one. I'm not good with it though, but that's the case with all airborne divisions. I'm somehow good with the reserve ones. Like TKS is a forward deploy division with a lot of mediocre stuff as well, but somehow that one makes click. Berlin Command somehow makes click. But these ones here with the better infantry, but I don't know what, I don't quite know why. I just can't make them work, but it always feels like I'm a bit off of them. So yeah, hope you have a good one, guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye, and have a great day.